Cleveland at Chicago. Chicago's a 7.5-point favorite.
You know what? This is the hottest take I'm ever gonna have because I'm going with Sador. I want Sador to win this one, just so everybody could see him go up against a winning team and him to shut everybody up. Sador, go out here and handle business, man. I want you to win. So that's how come I'm picking you this week. Miles Garrett, 3 sacks.
Especially with how the way Caleb Williams extends the play. And if any athletic guy can go after Caleb Williams and get a sack, that's Miles Garrett. I would love to see Shador Sanders play well, but I think for Chicago, they're going to bounce back after that tough loss to Green Bay. I think they win this one. I'm going to go Bears 20, Cleveland 10. All right, next one, champ. Ravens at Bengals. Ravens are 2.5 points. Lamar Jackson, since he came back from the injury, hasn't played particularly well. Isaiah Likely. He had that controversial non-touchdown play. All he needed was 3 steps. That would have been enough of a football play. He had that fumble in that game against the Bengals in Thanksgiving. Baltimore has to win this one because right now the Steelers are taking the lead. Lamar's got to snap out of his playoff. Got to snap out of his game so far, and I don't know what's up with Baltimore, but they have to win this one. I'm going with Baltimore because I don't trust Cincy's defense enough.
I'll go with Baltimore. Uncle Lamar, you got to get it. You got to get it going, man. You got to get it going, Uncle Lamar. So
Chargers at Chiefs. Kansas City
San
is a 6-point
Diego
favorite.
Superchargers. The Chiefs are washed this year, so the Chargers are gonna beat them.
I'll go with the Chiefs. But again, the Chiefs have been a disappointment. I don't believe they're going to be. I actually think this is a good thing, champ, for the Chiefs to be bad.
Rebuild. It's time to rebuild. All of
No,
those
no, but
players.
no, but that's my point, champ. When you when you move trades like that, when you make the trades like for Joe Thuney, you still had this feeling, this perception, oh, we're still going to compete. And so far, that's been proven a mistake. Joe Thuney may win the offensive line award, which first time. And he still to this day has not allowed a sack. So my thing, this is a good thing for Kansas City to be struggling so that heading into the offseason, they can evaluate and figure out what do they need to do. And hopefully some of the players who've had off the field issues, particularly Rashee Rice, hopefully he gets his act together. Hopefully the Kansas City Chiefs continue to do something. Because even though Patrick Mahomes, his rise, champ, I'm not saying he's the GOAT. Let me be clear. He still has a chance. He's only 30 years old. But it would be a devastating it would be a tragedy if Patrick Mahomes, considering how far he rise early in his career, fall off late in his career.
We've seen it before. We saw Troy Aikman. He had a meteoric rise. He wasn't as talented as Patrick Mahomes.
But not this
Let's
time.
be clear.
But not this type of rise, champ. Can you imagine if Mahomes, with that rise, how far he reached early in his career, take a huge fall down? Anything could happen, champ. But that would be a sad story, though.
Yeah. But like I said, Troy Aikman had that same fall because of lack of coaching. You know, a lot of great players got hurt during the second half of his career. Yeah. Like I said, he wasn't as talented as Patrick Mahomes. But look, I don't think people understand this, and I'm going to make it short. What Tom Brady did is not the norm. What Tom Brady did is that sustained excellence. It's not the norm. Winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, that's not the norm. Staying healthy as long as he did, that's not the norm.
Well, obviously,
A
champ,
lot of
that's an anomaly.
yeah. So a lot of players, when their teams become dynasties, after a while, look, what goes up must come down. And at this point, this is the coming down. And you have to rebuild what you have gotten. And unfortunately fortunately for Bill Belichick and company, they had the fortunate they had the great fortune of drafting great late in later rounds. You know, they got the late, you know who, they got Gronk. They was able to do a lot of things in free agency during, those years where they wasn't necessarily hitting on in the draft. You know, they was able to get Randy Moss, Dante Stallworth, Wes Welker, guys like that. You know, they was able to draft pretty well. They drafted my guy Shoney Michelle out of the University of Georgia. They
Georgia.
drafted a lot of, Malcolm Butler. They drafted a lot of great players. But in between that time, it was some it was some years where you knew that the defense was transitioning, that the offense was transitioning. Those great players, it was a long time before they won a Super Bowl again, even though they was able to do a lot of things. That's not the norm. When players start aging, you started trading, especially when your offensive line start leaving, that's when things get pretty bad. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, that's not the norm. That's an anomaly. So the minute we get that out of our heads and say, look, that's an anomaly, that's the day where everything will kind of go back to normal. Because guess what? Troy Aikman went through it in his career. Um, Terry Bradshaw went through it after he won his fourth Super Bowl. The dynasty starts coming down after a while. It's only so, and the thing is, those players, they haven't really added huge free agents, unlike those guys. They haven't had it, they haven't had those big, huge free agents to add to the team. They've been doing patchwork every single year. You lost Tyreek Hill. Then you lose Eric Bieniemy. Then you lose then you then you lose the cornerback that they had. I forget his name. My
L'Jarius
apologies.
Sneed.
L'Jarius Sneed.
He was traded to the Tennessee Titans.
Yes,
Yes,
you lose
champ.
him. You
Yet
lose Joe Thuney, and then you lose your star center. You lose your star offensive line. It's only so much that you can take away. It's only so many pieces on the chessboard that you can take away before the king is checkmated. And this year, unfortunately for them, the king got checkmated.
I think for them this will actually be good moving forward
Mm-hmm.
because they'll put them in the mindset where they're no longer they're hunted. They're now going back to the hunter. I still believe Mahomes has some good football left in him, champ.
No doubt.
I also think they need to move on from Kelsey. You mentioned that they should get AJ Brown. Remember, because you advocated for the Chiefs to trade for AJ Brown. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yes, I can understand giving Mahomes a top target. You're probably going to have to give up what, a second, a third, maybe a fourth in order to get AJ.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone could actually do it, is Andy Reid. Although at the same time, I just don't think his personality would fit. Even though you could say, well, hey, Patrick Mahomes has worked with Tyreek Hill and other players. What difference would it make? And plus, Andy Reid, he's worked with controversial players before. So what difference would it make? But I think this is good for Kansas City to struggle so that moving forward, they can focus on other things. Now, this is a really good game right here. Bills at Patriots.
Let James cook. Let him cook. I'm telling you. So let James cook. Go on with Buffalo.
I'm gonna go with New England. And shout out to Josh Allen and his wife. He's strong. They're now expecting a new child. So congratulations to them. Also, Commanders at Giants. Ugh. Jaden Daniels will not play. Thank God.
Thank God. I was just about to ask you that. I'm like, you put him on that field, I'm gonna have a fit. They ain't even my team. The Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
He's had 4 injuries: the sprained knee, the hamstring, the dislocated elbow, and he re-injured that elbow last week against Minnesota, in which they got embarrassed. That's why even allowing him to play makes no sense. As Don King said, only in America, or as Bill Watts said, if he was walking through a men's locker room, he'd be whistling "Strangers in Paradise."
I'm coming to New Jersey and take your computer, man. No more Jim Cornette for you.
Oh no, I'm watching Jim Cornette SBS and
I'm
speak
coming
right
to
now.
New Jersey and stealing your laptop, even if I got to do some of my old Army out stuff. I'm taking that away
You have to do more than just my computer. I got phones. I got everything, man.
from you.
Raiders at Eagles.
Philadelphia, go out there and air it out like a Steelers fan. This is a chance to get some. This is a confidence win. Go out there and get your confidence back and get your swagger back, brother.
What if they lose?
If they lose, bro, they are going to eat that team alive in the media. In the great words of Cassidy, lay him when I see him, AK him when I see him. Hop out the Bronco and OJ him when I see him. That's exactly what they're going to do. If they lose that game, especially with Geno Smith has been playing like Eugene. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Obviously Jets Jaguars. We picking Jaguars.
The Jaguars, yeah.
Cardinals Texans.
Texans.
Texans. Now this is an interesting one right here. Packers at Broncos.
Oh man.
Packers lose this one. They actually have a chance. Chicago has a chance of going back and taking the NFC North.
I'll go with the Broncos because they win ugly, but they still win.
It's kind of like having the ugly woman, but hey, she has all the other great characteristics, but still.
Hey, night fighters need love too. Don't hate on the night fighters. Night fighters need love too.
Well, make sure they taken care of. So that's all I got to say regarding that.
Never mind. Don't be, hey man, everybody had that one night fighter.
All right, Lions at Rams. Rams are a 6-point favorite. I'm gonna
LA.
go with Rams.
LA.
I'm gonna go with Rams because I don't know what Dan Campbell is gonna do. I know their offense is gonna produce points, champ, but I just too many times. What's gonna happen when he goes for it on fourth down? And on top of that, just give the ball to Sonic and Knuckles, especially with Gibbs.
I don't like all that gambling. Sometimes Dan Campbell is the only coach, the only person you could be into the casino with a royal flush and he'll still say, hit me. Like you got a royal flush. Go ahead and look, all that
Or
gambling.
or he could be the type of person that divorces a woman and still marries that woman again, and then files for divorce, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. So hey, sometimes you have to learn the first time. I would say that just to be kind. So
Yeah, definitely. Panthers versus Saints. Keep in mind, champ, Carolina's a 2.5-point favorite, and New Orleans beat them early in the year.
okay, North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin like a helicopter. That one's for you, Harrison. Go out there and beat the brakes off the Aints. Keep pounding the Aints.
Believe it or not, I'm actually gonna pick the Saints in this one. They
Okay.
beat Carolina, and they also beat Tampa last week. So anything. Obviously Titans at 49ers.
The 49ers. I'm just
Colts and Seahawks. Seattle's a 13.5-point favorite.
Seattle. Seattle.
Yes.
Seattle's gonna win that.
Minnesota versus Dallas. And it's at Dallas, and Dallas is a 5.5-point favorite.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys. And Monday Night Football. Miami at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3-point favorite. And remember, TJ Watt is out for the season. Lung collapse.
Ooh,
You
his
didn't,
lung
you,
collapse?
you didn't know that, Chip?
No, that didn't come across the feed. That didn't come across the feed. Damn, I got to update my phone or something. I didn't know that. The lung. Ooh,
TJ Watt has surgery to repair partially collapsed lung, according to his brother, JJ Watt.
damn. Yeah, I'll go with Miami on that. You miss your best defensive player. Yeah,
And plus, what type of offense are we going to expect from Pittsburgh anyway?
yeah.
It seems to me, champ, if Miami makes the playoffs, could Mike McDaniel make a case for Coach of the Year?
I don't know. That's a good question. He could, and you got to ask yourself another question: is it time to get rid of Tyreek? So
Well, we know they should get rid of Tua, but unfortunately, nobody is going to take a chance on Tua, and plus that contract.
no, but yeah, he should have a campaign. If he makes playoff, he should have a campaign because they got off to a nasty start.
Shout out to our good guy Luis, man, but he stuck with Tua for I don't know how long.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Ness, she's a Miami Dolphins fan too, isn't she? Yeah,
At least you got them strip clubs in South Beach, so you'll be fine in that regard.
yeah.
There you go. I know you've been to South Beach before.
No,
You've never been to South Beach?
no, I haven't. I haven't been to South Beach. That's one of my goals for the next year. Go to Miami. I've never been to Miami before. I've been everywhere in Florida except for Disneyland and Miami. I have been to Tampa. I've been to Lakeland, St. Petersburg, Lauderdale. I've been to Gainesville. I still have pictures of the stadium in Gainesville when I was on my way to do a job down there in Lakeland, and I took a picture of the Florida Gator Stadium. Yes, I know I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan, but I'm a football fan first. But I took pictures of that stadium and took pictures of the statues and stuff like that. I've been everywhere except for Orlando and Miami. So I got to get myself down there to Miami, especially Orlando next year when they open up Mario Land. So when they open up Mario Land, I got to go down there and put on the hat and eat the food, get on the rides, make sure I can fit on the rides and stuff like that.